In a world filled with superpowered beings known to the public as Accepts, Avery Silman, a retired vigilante, gets a call about the mysterious disappearance of a young woman. In search of the girl, Silman begrudgingly returns to the city of Florspark, Texas, the one place he has tried so hard to stay away from. Coming to you from Rippaverse Comics, and the first entry in the Rippaverse comic book universe. Isom number 1. Will Avery get to the bottom of the missing girl? How will he stack up against the superpowered Accepts along the way? And who is the mysterious man with the haunting green stare?
The release of Isom number 1 and launch of Rippaverse Comics marks a momentous occasion in the history of Iron Age media. The founder of the company, Eric July, initially had the humble goal of reaching $100,000 worth of sales during the first 80 days of the pre-order launching period of the graphic novel. Now, amidst pushback from Marvel and DC superfans that couldn't fathom someone else starting an alternative comic book company, Eric July not only met his goal of $100,000, but Isom number 1 made upwards of $3.5 million, sending the haters spiraling. Now, those are the figures. How's the graphic novel? Let's get into it. Spoiler free. In the rural outskirts of the booming city of Florspark, Texas, we meet our protagonist, Avery Silman. We meet Avery later in his life as he's sort of built a new life for himself outside of the Texas city where he grew up. Avery seems to have a very good reason for staying out of Florspark, as his past life in the Texas city seems to haunt or maybe even entice the man. Avery's intentions are, however, foiled, for after getting a call from his sister, Avery begrudgingly returns to Florspark as he is caught up in the plot of a missing young woman. Several plotlines ensue upon Avery's arrival to Florspark. A superpowered woman named Yaira battles it out with a team of Accepts known as Alpha Corps. A mysterious man with glowing eyes plots and schemes in the shadows of the city. And Avery's stoic nature gets put to the test as he runs into old friends and powerful foes while on the search for the missing woman. Being the first entry in the Rippaverse comic book universe, I feel like they do a very good job in sort of setting the stage with plots and different concepts that sort of intrigue the reader. They don't explicitly spoon-feed information to the audience. It's all the information's given to you like through dialogue and through different disparate pieces. So it leaves me as the reader intrigued as to like, hey, how do these different concepts in this world work? How do like the superpowered beings known as Accepts, what's the deal with them? How have they gotten their powers or whatever? There's also a few little hints that kind of intrigue me even more. For example, Avery Silman, it's hinted at least I think it is hinted at, that he might not actually be an Accept per se, that he's achieved his superpowers from some other sort of like thing or device or I don't know. And that's interesting. I find that super interesting. But again, it's not explicitly spoon-fed to the audience, which makes me as the reader intrigued. It's like, hey, what's going on with that? Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens at the end of the day. I also wanted to talk about the character of Avery Silman, the protagonist of the book. Now, I like him. He's really cool. You meet him later in life, where he's sort of put down his mantle of vigilante, or however he worked in that world. And he's kind of a family man. He's sort of a stoic guy, very kind of like hardworking, that type of dude, owns his own business. And yeah, so he goes into Floorspark, and a few different things happen. If you want to figure it out, you should get the graphic novel. But over the course of interacting with a few different individuals, at first he's kind of like stoic and polite, but then a few things happen, and you see kind of this pride and rage kind of poke its head up, which is really cool. It gives you a glimpse into maybe like, okay, this is a guy who he used to maybe have a hotter head, or he has kind of this later in his life, he has kind of this bridled strength that he's developed since he's wanted to stay away from the city and everything. So it's really cool to see the dynamic of him interacting with just the crazy things that happen in this city, the place that he did not want to return to. So I really like that. I'm interested to see Avery explored as a character. I find the concept of just like the old guy getting back into it really cool, and a really different take on your typical origin story. I overall enjoyed Isom number 1. I'm going to keep getting it. I'm intrigued to see what happens with the story and see the Rippaverse universe kind of expand, see just what's going on. Now, the thing that I am most excited to come out of the Rippaverse is in the back of this graphic novel. It ends on just a couple of panels of this metal band just jamming out and singing about killing demons, and freaking ends with this panel, Norfolka, which I am super stoked about. It seems like this traveling metal band that kills demons, which is straight up my alley. So that's what I'm most excited for. Freaking Norfolka, man. I hope you enjoyed this review, and you can find Eric July's stuff from his website, rippaversecomics.com. I believe that's the URL for that. I'll actually leave the URL in the comments section thing, the thing beneath the video. And I do know that the stock of some of his products kind of ebbs and flows because it's very high demand stuff. So if you follow Eric July or Rippaverse on Twitter, then you can kind of keep posted with when different things drop. And these things are going to be dropping, it seems like, in campaigns. So for example, how they release the whole Isom thing is they're like, hey, we have this graphic novel that's coming out. Yeah, get one because it's going to sell out when you see something that you like drop for when Isom number 2 comes out. And whenever the heck Norfolka comes out, I'm going to be one of the first to get my hands on one of those graphic novels. But yeah, we'll see how much the next releases sell. But if you want to get any of the products, just make sure that when you see something from Eric July come out, like, hey, I'm releasing this, that you get on it. Because if you don't, you're going to miss out. I wanted to get a few other products from them after I got Isom, like their Rippaverse hat, and there's these cool big like trading card things with secret information on the back that they sell. And I went on the website after I got the graphic novel, and they're just all sold out. So whenever he puts something out there, just make sure you get your hands on it. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video.